Hi, wonderful assessment community. Because I couldn't attend today's session, I've created a few slides to highlight some quality improvement tools and concepts that might be of interest to you. These are multicultural tools that originated in Japan. Okay, cue the music. Konnichiwa. I'd just like to acknowledge our wonderful project staff. And here's just a bit about why we selected this project. So the food safety program frequently interacts with food service operators who don't speak English or who have limited English proficiency. And this was identified by managers and supervisors as the top department QI priority 9412. And the food safety staff also identified improving communication with non-English and ESL food operators as the top program priority. And also this works congruent with our agency's strategic goal of incorporating principles of social justice and health equity into our day-to-day work. So, this is the first concept, Kaizen. And some of you might be familiar with this and some perhaps not. So if you're already familiar, I hope you'll bear with me. So Kaizen is pronounced Kaizen, a Japanese word constructed from two ideographs, the first of which represents change and the second goodness or virtue. So Kaizen is commonly used to indicate the progressive, long-term betterment of something. So we use Kaizen, a Kaizen event, to explore food safety and health equity. So there's two things I'd like you to know about this. The first thing is preparing your team as to what to expect is really important. And Kaizen commandments, FAQs, and an event charter are good ways to prepare your staff for what's going to happen in the multi-day event, which can be 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, another really important point is to gather and analyze data that could be helpful during the event, and that's both quantitative data and qualitative data. So we did some data gathering, and here's some information that we came up before the event so that we had it to bring to bear during the event. So the percentage of level 3 food establishments with non-English or ESL operators for us was 17.8%. And level 3 food establishments are those that have the most complex menus. And so they tend to have the highest violation points and the most difficulty in adhering to the food code. So the average mean red violation points, which is offenses, so to speak, for non-English ESL establishments was 27.79 versus in the English-speaking establishments 18.33%. So we did see that there was a significant difference. Then we did a Voice of the Customer survey to find out more about the dynamics of being a non-English or ESL operator. And so we did 23 interviews, and these are the breakdowns. 80% were satisfied or very satisfied with their last inspection. 87 responded that the last inspection was helpful in improving the operator's ability to comply with the food code, and almost all operators responded that they understand the food code. 31% responded there are cultural barriers that make it difficult for the operator or staff to comply with the food code. And 50% responded that language creates barriers that make it difficult. And of course, most importantly, we did see this differentiation in red violation points, so we knew we were onto something. So Kaizen is really a pretty cool thing, and there's really nothing like getting away from your usual routine. So I'm going to play a little video that Wanda Williams put together for us. So even those team members who were resistant to this event were totally won over after day one, and they acknowledged just how valuable it was for them to participate and to be heard. And this was an important key point. Then this shows all the ideas that came out of the Kaizen and a tentative implementation timeline. And you can see there were many ideas that came out. Many related to non-English and low English proficiency operators, but many ideas came out that could be implemented that were just good ideas that had to do with food safety in general. And this was our parking lot, things that we would probably leave till last. Okay, so this is the second concept. We take our brilliant Kaizen ideas and apply them in the Gemba, the real place where we work. This is where change management and perseverance come in, because even those who offered up ideas are still sometimes resistant to change. So Gemba or Genba is a Japanese term meaning the real place. Which brings me to the third concept, the Kanban. The Kanban is very useful in keeping track of the Kaizen ideas that are to be implemented in the Gemba. The Kanban makes your work easier. The Kanban rules. All you need is a fancy or a makeshift board, some post-it notes, and a pen or two. So a Kanban is a scheduling system for lean and just-in-time production. The Japanese term Kanban literally means a signboard or billboard. And so your billboard is divided into 3 segments: to do, in progress, and done. And this gives you a great visual way to track your progress and as a team also. So we ordered a very big Kanban to keep everything very visible. You cannot ignore this Kanban. So here are some of our results, some of our tasks that were have been completed already. And here are tasks that are still in progress, that are actively in progress. And we are laminating and copying the FDA Oral Culture Learner Project materials for distribution by field inspectors. And this was one of our main implementation suggestions that came out of this. So after an operator gets red violation points, they're given materials in their language or the language of their food service operators that can be posted in prominent places that deal specifically with the violation that was found. And here's our 60 to 90 day list, which is still in progress. And this is our parking lot. And one of the things we'd like to do, the middle point, is institute premium pay for field inspectors with language skills used in performance of food inspections. And what we learned. Language can indeed be a barrier to achieving food code compliance. Hearing the customer's voice is a crucial component to finding solutions. A Kaizen event provides a focused activity that empowers staff to make their perspectives known, and I'd really like to emphasize this. Quality improvement doesn't proceed in a straight line, but always leads to the discovery of new and more interesting paths. Implementation of Kaizen ideas in the Gemba takes perseverance and dedicated time, and is of course assisted by having a big Kanban board. Pre-post data collection is essential to understanding if a change is an improvement. And because of the nature of how infrequently restaurants are inspected, it's going to take us several months to get the post data that we need to know whether the changes we made are improvements indeed. And here's my contact information. Just in case you're interested, please email me and I'll reply as soon as I return from my tropical birthday celebration. Thanks for listening, awesome assessment community.